Hello, my name is Richard McMullen. In this video I'm going to talk to you about the different kind of questions that you can ask at the end of an interview. So once you've completed the interview itself, the interviewer is more than likely to say to you, okay, the interview's over, we've finished with our questions, have you got any questions for the interview panel? Now, a lot of people say to me, Richard, do you have to ask questions at the end of the interview? And the simple answer is, no, you do not have to ask any questions. However, it can be a useful time for you to put yourself across in a positive manner. Now, before I give you two sample questions that you can ask at the end of an interview, I'm going to give you some tips on what not to say. So first of all, don't ask any questions in relation to leave. You should know about holiday leave before you go along to the interview. Don't ask questions obviously about sick pay, and also don't ask questions generally in relation to salary unless it's specifically spoken about during the interview, because you should know what the salary is, and if they want to negotiate with you in relation to the salary, they will generally ask you that during the interview. So those are the questions that you really want to avoid, if possible, at the end of an interview. Now, if you decide not to ask any questions, that is fine, but I recommend that you just say to the interview panel, no, I haven't got any questions, thank you very much. You've answered everything that I wanted to know during the interview process, and that is absolutely fine. Now, if you do ask any interview questions, I would recommend limiting it to maybe 2 or 3 questions at the most. I've been interviewing people before in the past and they've asked 6 or 7 or even sometimes 8 questions at the end of an interview. Whilst there is nothing wrong with that, as an interviewer, I have to discuss and mark that person who I've been interviewing once they've left the room, and I also have other people that I need to interview later on. So I've got a tough timetable that I want to stick to. So try and be respectful of the interviewer's time. So what kind of questions can you ask? Well, the first one is in relation to knowledge. Okay, so I'll just write this down, and I'd urge you to do the same. So if you write this down, because it's a really good question. And when I say knowledge, I mean knowledge in relation to your knowledge of the company or the role that you're applying for. So I would say, yes, I've got one question. Whilst I'm waiting to find out whether I've been successful or not, is there any further information or documentation that I can read to further enhance my knowledge of the organisation or the role that I'm applying for? Now, this is quite a clever question, because what it does is it demonstrates that you're keen and enthusiastic for the role, but also you want to carry on some more research about their organisation whilst you're waiting to find out if you're successful or not. Okay, so that's a good question. The second one is in relation to development. And again, this is a good question to ask. And it goes something like this. You can say, yes, I've got another question. If I am successful in the role, do you think there would be the opportunity for me to develop and also progress in the organisation once I've learnt my role and become competent in that specific position? Now, what this does is it demonstrates to the organisation that you are intending to stay with them for a long period of time if you are successful. The vast majority of employers would rather see an employee stay with them for a long period of time, because they'll be investing quite a lot of money, time and resources into training them up, and what they don't want them to do is to leave as soon as they've been trained up. So that question demonstrates your commitment to that organisation. So those are 2 excellent questions that you can ask at the end of any interview. Thank you for watching.